Showtime is back. And I don't mean it's back since Kobe Bryant. I mean it's back for the first time since Magic Johnson retired. Kobe and Shaq won 3 titles together, and Kobe won 5 as a Laker. But that wasn't Showtime. That was Phil Jackson triangle. We knew what was going to happen. Shaq was going to wind up at the line and hit one of 2 free throws. That was what was going to happen. And Kobe give you some high-flying, spectacular theatrics, but it wasn't a run-and-gun, fast-break team. What happens now is the best player in the game, for the first time since Magic was at his best in some years when Bird wasn't the best player in the game. For the first time since then, the best player in the game is a Laker, and his best quality is his passing ability. LeBron James is the best passer in basketball. And Rondo can pass it, and Lonzo can pass it. And for a forward who's almost 6'10", Ingram can pass it. And so what you see is a fast-breaking, passing, unselfish Showtime team for the first time since Magic Johnson. Stephen A., Dr. Jerry Buss, the late, great Dr. Jerry Buss, the greatest owner by far in the history of American team sports, understood that in L.A., if you stink, it's not like in New York or Boston or something like that where they just, you turn on talk radio and they're killing you. In LA, if you stink, they just go somewhere else. They ignore you. The sun's always shining. The beach is right there. They don't need sports, right? So he understood we needed to give LA needed to put on a show. Right. Not enough to win. Do it with style. This Lakers team is built to win in the near future, and they're going to do it with style.
Couple of things. Number one, I want you to know that the black looks fabulous on you.
Thank
Just
you.
looks absolutely fabulous.
That.
It's important that I bring up that point. Here's why. Because I almost threw this water on you. Did you just say this is the first time that Showtime has returned for the first time since Magic Johnson?
Correct.
I'm sorry. Shaq and Kobe was not a Showtime?
No.
I mean, with the Fishes, with the Ories and Rick Fox and the group, it wasn't Showtime?
Not Showtime, no.
Excuse, let me tell you something right now. I think I want to make sure I quote you correctly because the blasphemy that I think I just heard come out of your mouth. I need to be clear. Did you say that Magic Johnson was the best player in basketball when he played?
Certain years he was, yes.
No. I'm sorry, not when Bird was there, not when Jordan was there.
Not when Jordan, not by Jordan, but when Magic, but by Jordan's third season, he was the best player in basketball. Before then, Magic and Bird were the two.
Excuse me, they were the most popular. They were absolutely fabulous, and they were champions. And don't get me started. Don't put me in a position where I got to sit up there and even remotely act like I'm checking my man Magic Johnson, who's one of the greatest ever. And I love the 5-time champion that he is, 9 NBA Finals. But when you got Kareem, and you got Worthy, and you got Scott and Michael Cooper before, they were winning championships in the 80s when Kareem was at center.
Yeah.
Don't get me old with the most unstoppable.
Who was the best player on that team?
Can I ask you a question? I didn't question whether or not Magic Johnson was the best player on the team. You're talking about the best player in the game of basketball. This is during the 80s.
It was Magic and Bird and Moses Malone. Those were the 3 guys.
Excuse me. Moses Malone, 4'5'4". Okay. Larry Bird, that shot, his defense is passing the bill. Larry Bird was legit. Isaiah Thomas, we can ignore Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah was not quite on the Magic Bird level.
Magic Johnson is, and always will be a flat-out winner, a leader, the Laker lore, all of that stuff. But in terms of his individual skill set, I'm sorry.
This is why you're caught up. You are always talking about individual skill set on 5-on-5 basketball. In 5-on-5 basketball, your skills to elevate your team are more important.
I get you. If you want to tell me that Magic was the greatest because of his influence, his ability to impact the other players.
Precisely.
Okay, no. Okay, but again, when you say the greatest player in the world, you know what we think.
Let me be very clear.
All right, so before I get to my point, go ahead.
Larry Bird has become underrated because people forget that at the time, he won, when you win 3 consecutive MVPs, stuff like that, you understand who's actually perceived as the best at the time. In retrospect, Magic has risen. But even at the time, he was one of the 2 or 3 best every single year. Okay, good enough? Can we continue?
Magic Johnson was a phenomenal player and a champion or whatever. But in terms of individual skill set, listen, when you're 6'9" and you're looking over most point guards that you're going up against, you're going to be able to do a lot of things.
What did he do best? Let's not get off the point. Right, and was he the best player on the Lakers?
He was the best passer.
Okay, so don't get caught up on
No. He wasn't better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was not.
Hold on. Except for his rookie year when Kareem was the MVP of the league. Going forward after that, Magic was the best player on the team.
You know how I stop you? Ask Magic.
Stephen A.
No one on earth Listen, when Isaiah Thomas came on this show, even though it was from Bristol, Connecticut, not here because he hasn't been in the studio, but he's coming.
Down.
Magic, even Isaiah. Listen, we're talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as one of the top 3 players of all time.
Yes, and there was a time where he was better than Magic on the Lakers. And after several years, Magic became the best player on the team. That's an uncontroversial
And
point
I guess what I'm trying to say to you is that if you didn't have the skyhook to rely upon to throw into the post when you were forced to be in a half-court game, what would Magic have been then? Don't have me questioning
Magic.
Magic.
He have been?
That's all
one of the greatest players of all time, wherever he was.
He wouldn't have been in that conversation as one of the greatest players ever. No, not like that.
That's why he was drafted first overall.
Listen.
That's why he was a national champion in college.
Nobody is saying that Magic can't play. Nobody is saying that he's not great. I'm just attacking your point about the greatest. But let me get to my other point because we're really talking about LeBron James and the Staples Center last night. Showtime has returned or whatever the case is. Can we pump the brakes just a touch? Can we pump the brakes just a touch? First of all, we like the fact that they're pushing up the basketball. Let's understand why they push the ball up the floor. They have to push the ball up the floor because you don't have the perimeter shooting that you need. That's what they need to get. That's what Magic Johnson needs to acquire before the trading deadline. Got to get another shoot on that squad. Love the fact that Rondo is there. JaVale McGee in a preseason game, I'm quite sure he ain't making Shaq in the fool yet. Good props to him, okay? I love me some Kuzma. Looking better. Brandon Ingram, we'll see, even though I believe in him. Lonzo Ball, when he gets back, we hope. But in the end, let's just pump the brakes just a touch. Now, I got the Lakers going to the conference finals. We know that. But the point that I'm trying to make is let's pump the brakes.
Is Showtime back, yes or no?
I don't think so.
Let me go ahead something. You said Kobe and Shaq. You're saying that wasn't Showtime? It was Showtime in the sense that people paid money to show up to Staples.
Oh, come
to see
on,
the
Max.
show.
That's not fair.
It was not,
you didn't say that in your original argument.
It was not exciting basketball. It was Shaq getting fouled, going to the line, shooting free throws. Kobe with some high-flying theatrics, but it wasn't Magic Johnson running the fast break.
You do that a lot. You're slick. Because when you gave your soliloquy, you had an opportunity to make that point. You didn't. I didn't know you were talking about, oh, my goodness, excuse me, are you paying to see them? Of course.
Were you under the impression?
Were you under the
impression that I thought that Lakers team with Kobe and Shaq wasn't popular? I understand they were 3-time champions.